Welcome to another edition of the Bones of Advertising. I'd like to welcome all guests today from top to bottom: Jack Daniels, Caroline Hendricks, sometimes Turner, and of course, GABI Somerville.
Caro, have you moved? You've got a new, you've rearranged your room there.
Yes, I'm homeless at the moment. So I'm currently at my mother-in-law's. So she's very kindly lent me her office, and I will be broadcasting from here today.
Oh, very nice. Will mother-in-law be bringing in a cup of tea and a slice of orange cake, maybe?
Not today.
Oh, that's a little unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, she's away. She's not here. So unless she flies home from Cairns.
So you've broken into your parents-in-law place.
I have a key.
Not technically breaking and entering when you've got a key.
No,
I'm just going to quiz you quickly. You're looking like you're in a dark room. Are you suffering from a migraine, or are you just like
me? No, I think it's just I think it's how the light is picking up, because I'm right next to a window.
Right. Okay. Well, you've got a lot of light
like
on
the
your
light
face
goes in
your
and out.
head.
I don't understand.
You're like a floating head in your black jumper.
Anyway, shall we truck on to what I think is probably one of my favorite characters in a commercial for a very, very long time? Let's have a look at this, shall we?
Wondering when you can put your pants back on? That's common. Putting on a brave face during physio?
How's that feel?
That's common. Making appointments instead of avoiding them? That's uncommon. With outstanding value year after year, HCF gives members good reason to stay on top of their health. Join Australia's largest not-for-profit health fund today. HCF. Uncommon care.
Now, I just want to know, what is the right time to put your pants back on? Like, is it, where is it straight after? Do you whack them on before the doctor sits down? Or like, when's the right time? Like, that is so well written. I can't tell you how much it makes me smile, that ad.
It's very relatable, like the idea of you like close the curtain to get undressed, but then like you open it and there you are, like in your birthday suit. Like, why is there even a curtain?
Yeah.
It's
love
not
it.
needed.
But the post, just sitting there, like, just kind of like I'm in my jocks. Like, is now the time, or is it not the time? Like, you're coming back, you're gonna have another look, or what? I don't know.
No, just kind of have to see there. I think it's a really insightful piece. I don't think it's a great brand. I don't think it's a great branding exercise. I think it's a delightful, like, I laugh when I see him. I get that whole thing until I get to the bit where they try and get me to remember what the brand is. And
it was, for me, he's the cue. Sorry, Gabs, I'll shut up and let you go. You've been chomping at the bit. You go.
I completely disagree with you, JD.
Excellent. I love this.
I think, well, what's today's bone does funny work. And for me, this works, but not just because it's funny. I think that there are some really strong insights into it. They also run and have been running Uncommon Care for so long. And I think that tagline as a cue is really strong for them, because it has such a negative connotation, but they have a way of making it feel positive, and it's such an oxymoron. Additionally, I think the brand cue at the end, that little voice note that they do on the end of all of their radio, all of their TVC, strong cue, it just keeps coming through and through again. But I think the reason I really love this is they've tackled probably really well, because it's a little bit of a subtle undertone. You don't realize it, but I think they're really honing in on the fact that a lot of men disregard their health. They don't get regular checkups. They avoid going to the doctor. And they say that at the very end, before they cut to the chase of, actually booking in and going to appointments. Now that's uncommon. And I think that's why they casted this guy, and it probably wouldn't have worked so well with a woman, to be honest, because, we're used to, those uncomfortable situations, as Caro would know, having a baby. Like, we're used to that level of invasiveness, I think, at a younger age. So
nothing is sacred anymore.
No.
Nothing is sacred.
So yeah, for me, it's super strong from so many levels. It's funny, it's engaging, there's brand cues throughout, and they've honed in on something quite insightful. And I think something very true to, you know, the audience that they're probably trying to target with this ad.
I also
agree.
agree.
Yeah.
And,
sorry.
and I reckon, sorry, Cara, just quickly, for me, he's as good as the two that did the lady in Katut from Bali, as far as locking up personality with the brand, like the Amy ones. And I just think he's so perfectly cast, and the way he's acting through the start, and when his head's in the massage table, like I can just relate to that so much. Like I every now and then get a massage, and like, you know, bless Kate, she's talking to me, but I'm just like, oh, you're killing me, first of all. And he's like, oh, it's just so good. And that for me is the cue that triggers HCF straight away. As soon as I see him, but you're right, Gabs, that jingle on the end for me really sticks at home, as well as that sort of secondary auditory cue that just kind of subliminally just registers in my head. But sorry, Cara, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to, say I agree. I really like it as well. And it's interesting to see two health funds taking a very similar path. Like if we recall the Simple part from AHM, where they had the animated version of all the frustrating, awkward, and there was a pants down at the doctor. Like there was a similar thing, but it was illustrated. And they've been running those ads for donkeys as well. So it's almost, you know, thinking, is it funny, even though it's kind of a copycat situation of it's a very similar way to go to market, even though we've got people versus animation. And I think that they've been able to do it. I think without people just being like, oh, it's just, they've just done the same. Like it's just, you know, the simple part, or like it feels like the same message, but they've been able to kind of carve their own section of that kind of communication. So I think that they've done really well.
I think territorially, I think they've done exceptionally well to disassociate themselves from the animated style, and yes, with the pants down and a myriad of other things that happen in AHM. But I think they've really built their own territory, and then they've been able to build the personality within that territory as well. So yeah, I think it's a cracker. But I do love the AHM ones as well. Like that's so simple. That's almost as good as the Me Bank. Remember when the Me's used to just sing the circle?
Yeah.
It's the me. Like again, just brilliant. Those cues threaded throughout. But JD, you've got a retort that's on the tip of your tongue.
No, the only thing that I worry about from a branding point of view is they're making the same promises, and they don't. I'm not encouraged, and I'm already a member of a private health fund, so you know, take this with a grain of salt. But it doesn't make me want to even consider swapping. It doesn't make me want to consider them in terms of what they do. Like I understand that there is this, like, I understand this notion of uncommon care and with AHM, that sense of it's simple, that to me comes straight out of the research. It's like signing up is the hard bit. Making the most of all of the bits and pieces. You send me a couple of, I'm with Bupa and I get a couple of reminders every year, and it's like, oh yeah, next time at the doctor I'll do that. Like it's the signing up, it's the getting over that massive hurdle of you want to spend how long, telling you how much. Like you know, it's not as intrusive as having a baby, but you know, it's it's time consuming.
Yeah, I agree. Like I'm with private health as well, and it wouldn't make me swap either. Like I think because you invest a large amount of money in paying for private health, that it would be, like you say, simplified application, waiting periods eliminated, like similar to when you change home loans and there's incentives. Like that would be something that would make me change a health insurance provider. But perhaps this is more so for people that don't have health insurance, that are looking at, that relates to me. I kind of like, this brand feels like me. So maybe that's more of their direction there.
Yeah, no, I'm just from a personal point of view, I thought the insight was funny, but it did nothing for me from a brand point of view.
Okay,
fair enough.
I think we just need to talk about how well does the glove actually fit for our next segment? I'm going to segue into something that I want to ask just a couple of questions, and we're going to talk about something that happened not last week, but the week before with the Essendon CEO appointment, and then subsequent, I don't know whether he was dismissed or resignation, but I'm really interested to get a take from around the grounds with all you guys on how you feel about what played out and how it played out. And then we're just going to touch on whether Daniel Andrews really has the right to interject the way that he did. And again, I would like to have opinions on all of this. So let's just start with you, Gabaloo. What do you think, or what do you make of all of this? Okay, let's start with you, JD.
Well, no, for the people playing along at home who have
let's have a little bit of a debrief on
Let's
what
have a
happened,
debrief
and
on
then
what
Gabs and I
actually
can comment.
So let's get a couple of things straight before we get into it. Essendon is a football team.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
All right, I just don't know. There may be people at home who don't understand this. They have been a basket case for the last 22 years. They've been horrendous. There was the drug saga, and everyone likes a little bit of a pile on Essendon.
That's on me, yep.
They sacked their coach. They tried to get Alistair Clarkson. Bullet dodged.
Yeah.
And then they signed Brad Scott, and for 24 glorious hours, it looked as though they were a football club again. And then they signed a new CEO who is a member of the City on the Hill Church. He's the chairman of that
significant
church.
member,
he's the chairman of the church. Like he doesn't, it has nothing to do with the pastoral care that is provided by the church. He is the business manager of the church. So I believe is the chairman. But the head pastor of the church about 10 years ago has come out and likened abortion to homosexuality to concentration camps, and he's just made some absolutely kind of wacky out there things. But because Andrew Thorburn is a member of the church, as soon as he was signed up, everyone went, you can't sign up a member of a church who likens abortion to Nazi concentration camps. Can't do it. Get rid of him. And so he walked. 24 hours later, he walked. Now, my question to the wider public is, why are we allowed to have people who are high-ranking Catholic officials in public office if we're not allowed to have the head of a football club who's a high-ranking member of a church? Because the Catholics haven't exactly embraced homosexuality over the journey
or abortion.
I don't think it's a matter of allowed. I think it's a matter of Essendon Football Club not wanting to deal with the backlash or
you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely correct.
Where was the due diligence of surely it was on his CV.
Who's let this get through?
Google search.
Yeah. Who's dropped the ball and been like, did you reference check? Yeah, I did.
Mind the pun, drop the
ball.
But at the end of the day, you get to a situation.
Or who's in there that hates this guy that's like, let's just let him in and let's shame him publicly and absolutely ruin him. Like there could be many facets to the situation.
That's probably I guess one potential. I think it's a simple situation where they've not actually done their due diligence, or if they did, they thought he can have any views that he likes as long as he runs our football club with the level of vigor that he needs to ensure that it gets where it needs to go. So I think it's extraordinary, and the way it all played out by so many people getting on board. And I mentioned earlier Dan Andrews jumping in almost instantly and coming out so forthright saying that this guy's no good and it doesn't matter what he's done in life, it's that if he's part of this church he's absolutely no good. Now I just don't think it's his right to do that within a football club at any stage, no matter what. That's not somewhere his nose needs to be. Now have an opinion, but don't voice it publicly, because you then put yourself in a position where anyone who's associated with you now has this demonic view of this guy as well. Now, I'm not saying his views are right, because I don't agree with anything that the church does. I don't agree with churches full stop. But my point being, where does he get off deciding that he's going to interject? And I think from there was this enormous snowball effect that took place. Like it really did gain momentum to a point where, and it was only a 24-hour period, but even after he resigned, he was continuing on with it. Like it was more than one press conference where it was either aired or he talked about it. Now it's not the place of the Premier of Victoria.
That's some political chicanery going on right there.
Exactly.
I find it interesting as well, like what's the reasoning behind what Dan Andrews is doing? Like if you watch his press conferences about many other things, he's just like, I can't comment on that. You know, that's public health needs to comment on that. I can't comment on that. But yeah, coming out and is it votes? Is it kind of rallying people to be like, I agree with him and yes, he's made the right choice and I'm on his side. It's just, I don't know. And then you kind of feel sorry for this guy as well. Like it wasn't what he said, but he's associated. So
well, it comes down to, I think sometimes as well, like you are the company that you keep in a sense. I think that has been probably the defining factor of it, that if you associate with someone who has those views, it's an assumption, but you may likely have views.
But even that's hard. That's, to just paint everyone with that brush that, if you're associated with, like, was he even there 10 years ago when all this stuff came out? Or
I think he's a deeply immersed member. So I assume, and you're right, Gabs, that his views would definitely be aligned with what the church is.
He's successfully run some really big, like some massive companies, and been very proactive about pride marches, about diversity and inclusion, about like all of the things that they pilloried against him. He's got a track record of actually supporting the very things that people are accusing him of being. So when I first started, I got caught up in the Twitter landslide, and I was ready to pile on and just sink the boots in straight away. But in the cold light of morning, I'm a bit, what actually has he done wrong?
And
Dan Andrews, yes, votes in Northcote apparently, wanting to. The Greens are running very close to the Labor Party in the northern suburbs, and he needs to shore up the heartland.
Dan.
Okay,
get rid of him.
So a segue into my next favourite topic, which is beer. I don't know how that's a segue whatsoever, but I'm just using it as well.
We'll celebrate with a beer when he doesn't get in again.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Gosh, are you really thinking Matthew Guy could get in, kids? I don't know. Could he possibly?
Could anyone be worse than Dan Andrews? I don't know. Anyway,
maybe
that's a new bone to pick.
Every day there seems to be some kind of brand new shit fuckery going on in the Liberal Party of Victoria. Like it seems like it's a circus in there. I want to have a genuine option other than Dan Andrews, and all they do is they stand up with a fucking lobster in Parliament, and his whole campaign falls apart. Like, just ridiculous.
No idea what you're talking about.
Let's get back to beer, shall we?
Yes.
Today's harmonics is going to center around a number of different elements of beer logos.
Okay.
Now, it's going to be fairly simple to start with, just because we're going to go with just, some simple elements. And then we might just get a little more, sort of funky into what they look like. Now, I'm not sure whether everyone at the table is a beer drinker, but if you're not, I apologize ahead of time. Can we start with the first one? Now, this one is a short stout bottle. It has an oval shaped green
BB
Caroline turd schnapple.
The grenades.
Okay. This one is known as a long neck bottle, and this particular product has done better overseas than it has done.
Foster's.
Jack Daniels. I did hear Foster's.
Good job, Gabs, though.
What did you say, Gabs?
She said
Fosters.
Foster's.
She was
Oh,
from the
okay, we'll go to
tail.
the tape on that one, Cara. I'll leave that to you to make the adjudication. Thanks, all the very best. No more now.
I'm leaning in.
Okay.
Can you see I'm getting more and more competitive and excited
Yes,
as I
yes,
go?
I can. Yes. Okay, this one is an odd-shaped bottle. It has a gold section at the top of the neck.
Crown.
Caroline Turner.
Crown lager.
Oh.
About to
Okay.
say,
This next one here comes in a clear bottle.
Corona.
Corona.
Holy shit, I think it was you again, Caro.
I think it was
Oh,
Gabby.
I so said Corona first.
It's okay, Gabs. It's all right. You can
Okay, it
have
was you, Gabs.
You can have the COVID.
Okay. This one is my favorite beer at the moment.
Heineken.
Great Northern.
Asahi.
Oh, Johnny!
Great Northern.
Great Northern. Everyone's getting on the Great Northern.
Everyone's
I've noticed
getting
that
on
as
the
well.
Great
The boys are on it as well.
It's good
Because
beer.
it's like light beer. Is it light beer?
It's called a crisp, Gab. So it's 0.9
Yeah.
instead of your 1.3 to 1.4.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful tasting.
Yeah, right.
It's a summary, little summary swill. It's quite nice.
Okay. We've got another one here, and this is another sort of favorite of mine, although it does give me a bit of a headache post. It also comes with a silver logo.
Perfect.
Heineken.
And it has beautiful script and starts with an A.
Asahi.
Ahi.
Oh, Caro just beat Gabs.
I was going to go. I thought you were going to go with the can. Sapporo. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Okay, we're going to go for one. I think it's probably one of the most known beers in the world. It's a strange-shaped green bottle.
Heineken.
Oh, Heineken.
Oh, Caro again.
It's the only beers I know. Just keep
What do you mean?
saying
You've
it
known every
over and
bloody
over
beer we've talked about. Oh, the one thing, you're a raging, boozing.
What about
beer.
the little, it comes in a can, it's beer. It's usually two colors with a top sash and a bottom sash and a square.
The logo is a sash.
The logo is
Did
a
you just try
square.
to take over the segment.
The can is always
No one
two
drinks beer
colored.
from a can, mate.
Oh,
Doesn't happen.
It's quite
No.
trendy.
No.
yeah,
Okay.
no.
Whatever.
Okay, back to Stella. So, shall we? Let's
So
just-
a Bolter beers. If anyone's the
yeah.
Bolters.
Never had a Bolter.
I'm actually looking at a picture of a bolter in my list right now.
Okay.
Last one to round us out for today to end yet another episode of the boning of advertising. This one has a green bottle with a white. Sorry?
No, it's all right.
Stella.
Yeah, Stella Artois.
Yes, good job.
Artois. Beautiful, well played. Absolutely.
Very nice.
What a great way to end on our
It's
Let's
beer.
all have a beer.
No beer.
beer, more beer, and more beer again. Well played, everyone. Let's get the totals up in the record from there, and all the very best. That was another edition of the Bones of Advertising. Don't go changing. We'll see you all next week. All the very best. No more now.
Bye.
Yeah.